Hi. I think I'm on. I'm trying something new. I'm trying live TV, which I haven't done before. So I don't know if this is actually going to work. Welcome, and thank you for watching this video. I'm so glad you could make it. I know your time is precious, and I appreciate that you took the time to be here with me today. Now, if you're watching this live, welcome. I am so happy that you're here. And if you're watching a replay, fantastic, thank you. And I want to shout out to some of those folks who've attended and said that they're going to fill out the form, like my friend Scott and my friend Vera. So my name is Gwen Chappell. I help professional women develop their confidence so that they can stand up for themselves and really own what they can really do. So have you ever struggled with a lack of confidence? Has that ever kept you from doing something that you really wanted to do? So I have. There's been so many things, including doing Facebook Live and videos. It stopped me for a long time. As a kid, I wanted to be a painter. I wanted to be an artist. I wanted to be a musician. I wanted to be an actor. But I did all this in my own little mind because in my family of origin, especially the context where I grew up, that kind of thing is only for real musicians, real actors, real artists. So I remember feeling quite discouraged and disappointed with myself because I'd try to do these things. I get really anxious, and then I'd feel like I didn't do a very good job, which was not a surprise considering that I didn't have much of a chance to do these things as a child, so I didn't have any chance to practice. And I now know that confidence arises partly from competence and partly from a belief in yourself. So that if you don't have a chance to practice and develop your confidence in small little increments so that you get to break it down into a difficult big task into something small and learn each component and learn that to a level of competence, you don't really have a chance to get to that really high level of performance that you want to attain. And that's what we who watch TV or see people on YouTube, very often we see the highest levels of performance, like after people have had a chance to develop a lot of competence. I have to be very clear about competence and confidence. So as a kid, I didn't really have the models, I didn't have the training, I didn't have the encouragement, except for my mom, who was always always encouraging us to learn and do whatever we wanted to do. So as you probably have already figured out, I have a tendency to be a little bit on the anxious side. It's part of my physiology. It probably always will be part of my physiology, even though I can do some things and I can continue to do some things to reduce that level of anxiety. I'll probably be one of those folks who tends to be a little bit on the high anxious side. It's an ongoing project. I'll let you know how it proceeds if we continue our relationship together. But throughout my life, I had tried to take the spotlight and I would get anxious and I would give up. And I didn't know then what I know now about how you develop confidence and how you develop competence and that kind of thing. So I would try to do something. I would take on what was a pretty big project for me. I would complete it, but I wouldn't be satisfied with the results and I would be exhausted. An introvert don't get, my energy comes from being alone, and I think better when I'm silent and go inside. So speaking live like this is very difficult. But there came a point where what I wanted to do, or my lack of confidence from keeping me from what I wanted to do, was interfering with my quality of life. Like I was stopping myself. It got to the point where I was stopping myself before I'd even try. And I wouldn't try to do things. And so having a high level of learning, I decided that this is what I would research. I would learn about confidence and learning. And I'm sure that's why I took educational psychology, because I was trying to improve and be perfect and at least get to the point where I could do what I wanted to do. But I would still stop myself. And it wasn't until I learned to value myself and put what was important to me where I learned to do that to a point where I was actually willing to put myself out there. So my desire to share what I learned overcame my anxiety about presenting in that kind of information and presenting that information. So let me just see if I can pick up that thread of thought. Oh, so career confidence, I'm using this term to describe not just confidence, like general confidence, the confidence that, you know, lets somebody get out and sing in front of a crowd with ease. I envy those people. It's the confidence to take on the projects that are a little bit out of our comfort zone. It's career confidence. Oh, I know what I was trying to say. That I called it career confidence, or rather than just general confidence, because to me, I think that work can be a great opportunity for us to develop our abilities, our competence. I know that when I was a shy teenager and my first job was waiting tables, I was really nervous about walking up to strangers, complete strangers. Big thing for me, shy little teenager, and asking them what they would like to eat. And you wouldn't believe how much anxiety this caused. Like I didn't know if I would know what to say. Like it's like I've forgotten how to talk. A lot like what happens to me when I'm on screen and I think I've forgotten how to talk. But it turned out that, you know, my first customer, I walked up and I said hello and they kind of smiled and I smiled back and then they took their order and I realized that, hey, you know, this isn't so bad. I think I can do this. And then after I did this for a couple of weeks, I realized like, you know, this is kind of fun. It's not all that hard. I mean, people just want to be recognized. They want you to bring them something. So I learned right away when somebody would come in, as soon as I possibly could, I would bring them a water, ask if they wanted coffee. And as long as they had coffee, it didn't seem to matter how long the kitchen took. They were happy because they knew that they were being looked after. So I discovered all of these kinds of skills because I was put in a situation, because I needed the money, I was put in a situation where I had to push myself outside of my comfort zone and learn some skills and some competence that I would not have otherwise had. So, and I keep finding that work and getting into work situations actually calls me to be a bigger person than I would normally be. That might not be true for everybody. And when I say work, I want to run ahead of myself. I don't know what I want to do there. Run backwards, run forwards, something like that. I want to be clear, at least, that work is, for me, is not just paid employment. It could be volunteer work. It could be working as a homemaker. It can be any kind of challenging, any kind of work that engages you fully. Employment does offer structures and organizations that tend to expect that you do these things, and because there's that expectation and accountability, it's easier for people to take on those kinds of things that might be outside of their comfort zone because they have to do it to get their paycheck. Just as an aside, sometimes coaching, having a good coach who can help you increase your awareness and increase your accountability. So, but a good coach will always let you be the one in charge of that accountability, and let you, through your own accountability and just having the coach support you as you identify what's holding you back, it increases your awareness. So, and also when I talk about career confidence, I want to talk about, sorry, that seems to have just flown out the window. Yes, the career confidence is about the confidence in your choice of career, so that you are confident that you have chosen the right career. And another thing that happens, and another thing that I'm grouping in with the word career confidence, is the undermining of confidence that can happen in a work environment where you might encounter an unsocial, yes, it would be unsocial. You might encounter a social situation where you don't know exactly what's going on. So that can cause a lot of anxiety for you because you don't know what you don't know, but you might get the sense that there's some people talking behind your back. You might get the sense that there are things that you don't know about that are going on just below the surface. Those kinds of things can be very uncomfortable, and they can undermine your confidence because you don't really know what's going on. Sometimes at work you are given a new assignment and your confidence is non-existent because you don't actually understand what you're supposed to be doing. Maybe you've never done that before, or maybe you don't even understand the parameters of the assignment. Even if you have done that particular kind of task before, you might not understand exactly how this employer wants you to perform it. Even within the same organization, when you switch departments, the manager might have totally different expectations. Let's see. So career confidence is the confidence to do something, the belief in yourself that you can do something. It is a competence, ability to do something, and it's a certainty that you will be able to reproduce those results, or that somebody else will be able to produce the results they claim they'll be able to. That's when we say we have confidence in somebody else. So career confidence is career choice, confidence in that you've got the right choice, the right organization, the right industry, the right environment. And so I guess one of the things that I think that was really essential to developing confidence is learning to appreciate who you are and valuing who you are so much that you are willing to be uncomfortable, to experience that feeling of anxiety, or which is a lack of confidence, until you develop the confidence to the level that you want to, the level of confidence that you desire. So a lack of confidence can actually stop you from undertaking the tasks required to give you the competence that eventually will result in a feeling of confidence. So my point there, I guess, is that you don't need to feel confident in order to start something. In fact, a lack of confidence and feeling anxious about something can actually be beneficial because it will kind of put on the alert you to the possibility of failure so that you take steps to prevent that. Too much anxiety is not beneficial, but there is an optimal curve. And I do have a board here, but I don't think you can see it all. Yeah, you can. So there's an optimal level of anxiety. No, get a little higher here, Gwen. So if we have a vertical axis, let me try that again, a vertical axis where we talk about energy and, performance on the vertical axis, energy on the horizontal axis here. There's an optimal area, that's like a big bell curve, where there's just the right amount of anxiety or energy and arousal, but not so much that your performance starts to fall off. And I say energy and anxiety because your body can't actually tell the difference between those two. It's the kind of level the label that you give it. So I'm telling myself I have a lot of extra energy right now. So I am hoping to develop programs and services that will help individuals develop their confidence. So I invite you to complete the survey, your number one challenge when it comes to career confidence. It should be high in my timeline. So that is my little message about please complete the survey. Last week, I had a little tip for you about contextual confidence and encouraging you to think about what it is that gives you confidence in what areas of your life so that you can start appreciating those skills and those strengths, because that will give you more confidence. This week I wanted to talk about why I think that learning about confidence and developing our confidence is important. Last week I had a little comment on my video about, why are you spending so much time talking about confidence when there are so much more important things in the world, like the possibility of World War III starting. So that was a little bit of a shock to get a kind of a negative comment, but it really helped me articulate the value of what I do and why I do think that confidence is important. And maybe it's not all that clear to people. So for me, I think it's important because I think confidence is knowing what you're good at, developing your strengths, and learning to appreciate yourself. And when you do that, you have higher creativity and higher performance. So for example, and then people can do things like the Growing North folks who created a way to create a greenhouse that can produce food in the north of Canada. So I think that without having the confidence, which increases creativity and curiosity, they wouldn't have that result. So another thing about confidence is that it is about self-acceptance, compassion and caring for self and for others. Learning to manage that inner criticism so that you don't have to put others down to make yourself feel good. It's a greater willingness to stand up and speak for yourself. I don't think I would be here. You can see, I think, how nervous and anxious I am about doing this. It creates a greater willingness to assume leadership roles. And I hope, my belief is that when we start caring more for ourselves and for others and are more willing to take on leadership roles, we will eventually start to move society and nations towards a way of resolving issues that are nonviolent. So that's my little not so evil plan to change the world for the better. And it all starts with appreciating yourself, getting in touch with who you are and what you are, and extending that same kind of appreciation to others and to our situation. So, and that is what I learned. That's why I appreciated the comment that I got, because it really helped me articulate this and get clear and realize that, some people might be making these assumptions about me, and I need to clarify, and that's exactly what I need to do. So I need feedback from you to tell me what I'm doing right and what you'd like to hear more, what you'd like to hear less of. And my challenge to you is to let me know what it is that you want me to do more of, what you want me to do less of. And if you are comfortable sharing your number one your number one challenge around career confidence, you can do it in the Facebook post if you want to. But if you go into the survey, your results are confidential. So the Facebook would be public. The survey is confidential. And it just depends on your level of comfortableness and willingness to share. And your vulnerability, because you don't want to share something that would somehow reflect badly on you or impact you negatively. So thank you so much for watching. I know this was kind of rambling, and I was just as nervous as I always am. And I want to thank you for attending or coming to see me. I hope that you've got a chance, or that some of the things that I rambled on about made sense to you. If I were going to recap and ask you to take a takeaway, maybe you would like to post that in the Facebook comments below. What did you get out of today's message? Or what can you use from today's message? And in the meantime, I'm going to be doing more of these Facebook Lives. If you tell me what you want to hear more about, or what you're curious about, or what you don't understand, or what you found unclear or frustrating, or where you disagree, let me know in the comments below. And the other thing is, what can you learn about situations that might be somewhat challenging? Like, when you are in a challenging situation, how can you use this? What can you take away from this? What can you learn from this that will help you or somebody else in the future? Anyway, I plan on doing another Facebook Live next week. I'm working on the webinar that summarizes the survey results, and I'll be presenting that probably, knowing the way I work, probably next week as well. And in the meantime, I hope you have a wonderful week and all the best. Bye for now.